President Obama is expected to take executive action on immigration this week, setting up a collision course with congressional Republicans who are considering several strategies to stop him. But despite their opposition, 3 GOP lawmakers told Fox News Sunday that they are not pushing for a government showdown or shutdown. Listen.
Government down doesn't solve the problem.
We still hope to be able to reach out and work with the president on it, pursuing some government shutdown.
I don't think anyone wants to shut down the government because that doesn't solve the problem.
Okay, let's bring in Michael Warren now. He's a staff writer for the Weekly Standard. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Arthel.
Hey, so, okay, you just heard a GOP saying a government shutdown. Look, it's not going to solve immigration, the problem that they're having with it, but not exactly ruling it out. So what do you think their strategy, Michael, will look like? What do you think the Republicans would do?
Nobody's actually talking about shutting down the government as a way to solve immigration. I mean, this is about addressing a really particular thing, which is what Fox News reported President Obama was likely to do last week, issuing this executive order that would essentially amnesty or give amnesty to 5 million illegal immigrants entirely without Congress's consent or without Congress even being notified about or sort of consulted about it. And so this is particularly to address that constitutional crisis. So Republicans are saying, look, if you're going to act unilaterally here and use executive order to actually change immigration law, Congress has the power of the purse and should use it. But you heard those Republicans saying there that nobody wants to shut down. I think that's smart politics, smart strategy to kind of say, we don't want to do this, but we will if we have to.
Well, I mean, and look, you got to consider this, which party stands to suffer the most political backlash over the immigration shutdown if it comes to pass, and if the president signs exec action or if he doesn't.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of what ifs. What will he do? The question about whether or not he'll do this before the end of the lame duck session of Congress, before the new Congress takes over. But I think if you look at some of the polls, there was a really good poll done back in August that showed that the American public really doesn't have an appetite for Obama passing an immigration reform through executive action. They want to see Congress do something about this or have Congress be consulted. So I think Republicans, if they do this right, if they make the argument that they're not shutting down the government just for kicks, that they're really making a point here, which is that Congress has to be consulted and Congress has to pass laws, and the president can't just pass whatever he wants, even if Congress says no. I think they win on that argument, but I think it remains to be seen whether or not the whole Republican Congress is going to be united and unified in that message. There's a little bit of discontent between some of the rank-and-file Republicans in the House and Senate and some of their leaders in Congress.
Now, who do you think is going to win that internal fight you just talked about?
Well, I wrote about this for the Weekly Standard. I think it's still sort of up for grabs. The leadership has a lot of momentum here. They're really pushing to move forward on getting some of the funding done for this year and sort of pushing this to next year. I think the rank and file, the conservatives on this, have a lot of momentum in their direction as well, particularly if we see that, as Fox reported last week, President Obama's executive action is as expansive as it appears to be. I think the public is on the rank and file side, and we'll just have to see if Republican leadership responds.
And finally, talking about the president's action, should the president take action on immigration before or after the funding bill goes before Congress?
If I were advising the president, I'd say wait till after. If Republicans don't pass a sort of short-term funding bill, if they pass a long-term funding bill that gets them through next fiscal year, then they really don't have the weapon that they would have if President Obama passes this. So I'm expecting that President Obama will do something after December 11th, which is when the next government funding bill has to pass. And then I think Republicans, if they pass that long-term bill, will be in a heap of trouble if they actually want to stop this.
Well, you'll have a lot to write about this week, won't you, Michael?
I'll be a little busy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Michael Warren, thank you very much. Good to see you. Take care.